In this video, we're going to focus on new construction and specifically affordable new construction around the Portland metropolitan area. So why new construction? You might not have considered new construction, but we're going to see a lot of it in the years to come. And there's a lot of new incentives for buyers from builders. And I'm not going to be surprised if we see some incentives for builders from local government or even the federal government with the housing shortage that we currently have going on. I'm also going to focus on larger subdivisions and volume builders. So if you see this video really anytime in 2024 or beyond, you should be able to find something that's on the market in one of these areas or from one of these builders. Let's get into it. Housing starts are up 4.1% year over year. We're just now starting to get past some of those supply chain issues, and builders are really ramping up at this point. Now, I know a lot of people don't look at new construction because the price per square foot is going to be higher than a resale, but given our lack of inventory and given that new construction very well might make up a greater chunk of the available inventory, you might find yourself considering new construction. So if you're one of those people, I want to give you an idea of what to expect in the process and what some of these builders look like and where they're at throughout the Portland metropolitan area. Now, in just a few moments, I'll show you some of the builders that are currently building and have homes on the market in the Portland metro area. Again, focusing on single-family homes that are detached, around $600,000, which is around the average price point in the Portland metro. Like I mentioned, I'm going to focus on volume builders that are building a lot of homes. So that way, if you are looking at new construction, you're more likely to bump into one of these people as opposed to just like a one-off, which you can see from the map on Portland. You can find new builds anywhere throughout the Portland metropolitan area. A lot of the stuff that you see in Multnomah County are just like single unit, like one-offs. Usually it was an empty lot or an older home that was a tear down. Not going to find a lot of newer big subdivisions around Multnomah County. Those are mostly going to be in Washington and Clackamas County. So the first thing you need to know about building, there's three different phases. There's a dirt build, meaning you're building from the dirt up. Nothing has been started on the house yet. There's under construction, a home that a builder was going to build regardless and bring to the market to sell to somebody. And then a new construction that's just been completed. Building from the dirt up typically takes about 12 months on average. During lockdowns and COVID and all that, we saw that sometimes take up to a year and a half with supply chain issues. If a builder's really humming along, like say in a subdivision that's larger, maybe 50 or 100 homes, and they're not in phase one, they're further along in the process, sometimes they might be able to build something in less than 12 months. But right now, 12 months will be about the average. If you build from the dirt up, you'll get with the builder or one of their salespeople or somebody from their design department and choose all of your finishes. You're going to have your standard finishes that you can choose from. And then, of course, there's lots of upgrades that you'll be able to choose from. If a home is under construction, you might still have time to choose some of the finishes. Just depends on where it's at. If it's completed, there's probably not a lot you can do, but of course you can always negotiate. Next thing you need to know with the new construction is you're going to get a warranty. Oregon law requires that a builder provide a warranty. Typical warranty for these new builds is a 10-2-1, a 10-year warranty that will cover all of your structural and your foundation, a 2-year warranty that will cover all of your major mechanicals and your systems that make the house operate, the HVAC, the plumbing, the electrical, and then a 1-year kind of bumper to bumper or porch to porch warranty, if you will, that will cover kind of pretty much anything in the house with the exception of anything that you break or that's wear and tear. And within the first year of the house settling, going through the seasons, hot summer and cold winter, rain, water finding its way around your house and through the property, and something that's newly been excavated, as the house settles, you will have things that crack, some drywall, grout. All that stuff is going to be covered for most builders within the first year of your warranty, which is probably one of the biggest upsides to a new build, is not having to worry about all of those things. Whether you've bought or been a renter in the past, you've probably had things on your house break. If you were the owner, you had to take care of them yourself. If you're a renter, of course, you had a landlord take care of it for you. But when you have a new build, typically you're not going to be worrying about a whole lot, at least in those first couple of years. And if you are seriously thinking about buying new construction, here in just a moment, I'll give you three pro tips towards the end of this video that you might not find online, or if you haven't worked with a broker yet, that you might not have been informed about. Right now there's about 400 new builds around the Portland metropolitan area, kind of depending on how you slice it. It's about 100 or so just north of us in Clark County around Vancouver. There's a lot of construction going on north of that, up towards Battleground and Ridgefield. We do also cover Washington, if that's an area you're looking in as well. Which leads me to a common thing that people often ask themselves when buying a new construction. If I'm going to work with a builder, do I need a buyer's agent or a real estate broker to help me through this transaction? And here's a couple things that you need to know on that topic. First, you always need somebody to advocate for you, somebody that's going to stick up for you, somebody that's going to look out for you. The other side, the other party, the salesperson that you work with that represents the builder or whoever that you're working with from that builder. If it's smaller, you might work directly with the builder. If it's a larger company, you're going to work with the salesperson. It's really difficult for them to have their best interests in mind and also have your best interests in mind. A lot of these things are going to be aligned, but not all of them. So you'll always need somebody to advocate for you. And when you're working with them, like I said, oftentimes going to be a salesperson. That salesperson is not often going to be a licensed real estate broker in the state of Oregon. They're just going to be a salesperson. They're just going to be an employee for this company. And when you're working with a licensed real estate broker, there is a higher degree of trust and confidence. When I'm speaking to another broker, I can have a high degree of trust that that person is going to be honest with me. When I'm just talking to some random salesperson, whether they're selling me a house or a car or some shoes, there's not really any kind of standard or expectation for any sort of ethics or honesty. And you might also be working with somebody that's fairly new, and they're just not going to know exactly how to guide you through this entire process because it is a very long process. Like I said, average build time about 12 months. A lot's going to happen over the course of those 12 months. And you're really going to want somebody to walk you through that process that's been through it before, as opposed to some random salesperson that's working for the builder. Another reason why you're probably going to want a broker representing you is there should be some negotiation. Like I mentioned, a lot of these builders have incentives. Some of them are advertised on their website, some are not. Just because it's not on the website doesn't mean that they don't have an incentive. We can find that out for you, and it doesn't mean that they won't negotiate beyond what's advertised. And an experienced broker such as myself is usually going to have an idea as to what they will concede. And then the best part about it all, when you're dealing with new construction, it is not going to cost you anything. The builder is going to pay the commission to the buyer's broker, myself. And from everything that I've ever seen, I've never heard this story before, but you're not going to get a better price or better concessions just because you didn't use a real estate broker. In other words, by saving the builder money and not using a real estate broker doesn't mean that you're going to get a better deal. So you, the buyer, when working with a builder on new construction, there's absolutely no reason not to use a licensed real estate broker. And by the way, my name is Seth Marchant, licensed broker in the state of Oregon. I've helped a lot of people relocate to Oregon, including buying new construction homes. I'm very familiar with the process. If you're somebody that's thinking about taking the next steps, I invite you to call, text, email. You can find all of the contact information below the description of this video on YouTube. You can also hit that QR code. That'll take you straight to our website where you can find all of our contact information. However you want to get in touch, whatever questions you have, get a hold of us today. It's never too early to start the conversation. Call, text, email, whatever's easiest for you. All right, so let's quickly take a look at some of these builders around the Portland metro that currently have homes on the market. And like I said, we'll expect them to have something available here in the next year or so. I've got about half a dozen to look at here. And the first one we're going to start with is Lennar, one of the larger national builders and probably one of the more inexpensive, maybe the most inexpensive builder right now around the Portland metro area for single family homes around the Portland metro. They've got some things going on in Tualatin, just outside Canby, which is Mount Angel. They have Hillsborough, North Plains, and then if you want to go down towards Wine Country, they've got some homes in McMinnville. Next is Holt Homes. Currently have homes going up in Happy Valley and Cornelius. Cornelius is out towards Hillsborough. The subdivision that they have going in Happy Valley is called Pleasant Valley Villages. It's actually a 13-phase, 1,155 unit residential development on 187 acres. So Holt will be building out in Happy Valley for quite a while. They do have some builds going on in Estacada. Estacada is maybe 30 to 40 minutes outside the Portland metro area to the east towards Mount Hood. And a lot of their homes are also, as you can kind of see, going to be very affordable, really pretty kind of in line with Lennar. Next is DR Horton. D.R. Horton, who refers to themselves as America's builder, they are the largest builder by volume in the United States. They only have one thing going on right now in the Portland metro area, which is out towards Gresham on the east side of Portland. They do have some stuff up in Clark County beyond Vancouver that you can see from the map as well. Next is LGI Homes, also a national home builder, also has homes going up in Gresham under $600,000 for single family homes, as well as things going up in Clark County. And then finally we have Taylor Morrison. Taylor Morrison was the one that had the incentives with the rate buy down, currently advertising a 4.99 on a 30-year fixed mortgage. Holt Homes, too, by the way, was the one that had the $20,000 in credits towards your new home. So right now with Taylor Morrison, you can find homes under $600,000, single-family homes in Beaverton and in Tigard. These two subdivisions are both larger subdivisions and will be, I believe, both continuing to build beyond 2024. Now, the only caveat I have about these prices is that, of course, home prices, as you probably know, have been going up in recent years quite a bit. So if you do happen to watch this video, say 9 or 12 months later, you probably won't see these same prices listed here. At least I wouldn't expect you to with my predictions of the market. I'm not one of those market crash people. I don't think the market's going to crash. If it did, you could potentially see home prices come down, but we have not seen that over the past couple of years. Don't have any reason to expect seeing that. And that can be one of the big upsides with a new build. Sometimes your appreciation might be a little bit higher than your resale. And for people that have built a new home from the dirt up, like I said, process takes about 12 months. They've even noticed that. They've noticed that the price that they paid for their home from the same builder in the same subdivision 6 or 9 months later is now higher. And usually the earlier you are in the phase of a large subdivision, the more equity you can build over time. Because when you first buy a house, let's say you buy a house, you're number one in a 100-home subdivision, that home's just not going to be worth as much when it's just by itself as opposed to when it's completed and all the other 9,900 homes are there, including any other amenities that you might possibly have, parks, swimming pools, community centers. The more that stuff gets completed, the more the value of your home goes up. The only downside is, of course, you have to live around a work site and a construction site for some period of time. All right, and then as far as builders, I want to give two other mentions because there are two that are kind of right on that cusp of that $600,000 mark that you might encounter. The first one is going to be Richmond American Homes. You can see in Estacada, they have some single-family homes under $600,000. They also have some homes around Wilsonville that have been close to $600,000. I don't think there's anything left near $600,000. And then out towards Beaverton, Hillsborough, they've had some things that are really close to that price point of $600,000. And then finally, a local builder, Pahlisch Homes, has a really, really great reputation too, by the way. They also have had a few homes that are kind of right around that $600,000 mark. There's a couple right now out in Hillsborough. There's a couple in Canby and a couple in Estacada as well. Probably the smallest home builder out of the ones that I've mentioned, but like I said, local home builder have a great reputation. And you can't always say that about all home builders. In fact, that's probably one of the biggest apprehensions for people about when they think about buying a new home. If you go online, if you search reviews, you're going to find terrible reviews, really, for all of these builders. So why is that? Well, this is just one of those industries where it's only going to be people that are unhappy that are going to go online and write reviews. It's not like restaurants where the people that get good service and are happy also go online and write reviews. So if you're looking at reviews online for new home builders, you got to take a lot of this stuff with a grain of salt. If you do enough research, you'll probably see what I'm talking about. It's really impossible to find one that doesn't have bad reviews. In fact, let me show you a home builder, and I'm going to omit the name because I just don't want to call anybody out, so to speak. And like I said, this is going to be true for a lot of builders, but what you're looking at, this is one of the largest builders in the country. It's literally the first thing that came up when I searched. So I did not have to search long and far to find this, and I can probably find a lot of other reviews or a lot of other review sites that are going to show me the exact same thing. And if you're somebody that has been looking online at reviews, I know how you feel because I've been there. I bought a new home myself. I've looked at the same reviews online that you're seeing and had all of the same concerns. So why so many bad reviews? Well, my best explanation is going to be that these home builders have employees that work consistently for them, that have helped them build lots and lots of homes, but they also subcontract out work. They might subcontract out to roofers, plumbers, excavators. And sometimes when you subcontract out this work, the builder isn't always going to know exactly the type of quality or lack thereof that they're going to get. And sometimes that isn't recognized or revealed right away. So from all the bad reviews that I've personally read online, that's the biggest distinction that I can make. It's a builder that was using a lot of subcontractors that they don't typically use, that didn't do a very good job. So like I said, just try and take that with a grain of salt. If you have questions about reviews or vetting any of these companies, of course, that's something that you can ask me about and get in touch. Just remember, you will have a warranty with the home. And part of utilizing that warranty, here comes my 3 pro tips. I mentioned I was going to give you some pro tips at the beginning of this video. First tip, even though it's a new build, you're still going to have your own inspector inspect the house. I know you might be thinking, well, it's a new build. What could be wrong with the house? Any inspector is going to tell you that no house is a perfect house, including a brand new house. So you're going to do a full home inspection that includes a sewer scope, and you should also do radon testing. If you're not familiar with radon, it's a very harmful gas. It's everywhere on the ground. It's a second leading cause of lung cancer in the United States. It's the silent killer. A lot of real estate brokers do not suggest to their buyers to do radon testing. So you will 100% want to have a home inspection once the home is completed. I've bought a new home myself, and when doing the inspection, incredibly enough, the inspector found some things that apparently nobody else would have found, because he found one thing that we all had looked at, one thing that myself, the builder had looked at, every single person had looked at and even used, but nobody actually noticed, which was the front door. The inspector found that the front door was ever so slightly warped, wasn't perfectly straight, so it didn't make a tight seal when closed, which means that you're losing heat, you're losing efficiency. Can't have that. So the builder sent the door back, probably didn't even have to pay for it, and we got the door replaced. It was very hard to see. It was very hard to even see with the naked eye once it was pointed out to us. For most people, that home inspector is going to be worth their weight in gold, because I'm sure they're going to find something. And beyond that, you can even ask the inspector to re-inspect just before your 1-year anniversary, because like I said, you get that 1-year porch-to-porch warranty, and typically with that is going to be some cracking, like I said, in your grout. There might be some other big things, though, that you don't see. Are you going to go in the crawl space and check the crawl space before the 1 year? Most people don't. So you might want to have that inspector come out and re-inspect before that 1-year anniversary, and then go to the builder with your list of things that need to be fixed before that 1-year warranty runs out. Next pro tip, never bought a new house before, going to want to budget for some extra stuff. It's kind of pointing out the obvious, but if you haven't done the math yet, do the math on some of the things that you're going to need to fill the home with. One of the big things being like blinds. Most people remember, of course, I'm going to need new appliances. Might be able to get those through the builder, but a lot of people are buying those on their own, like washer and dryer. One thing that usually just doesn't come to the top of the mind is blinds, and blinds are very, very expensive. So make sure you keep a little bit of an extra budget and know every little single thing that you're going to have to buy when you move in. And then finally, to piggyback off of that, this was even more important during lockdowns, but check your delivery times. The stuff that you're going to need to order for your new house, whether it's blinds, washer and dryer, especially something like a couch, you might have to wait a lot longer than you actually expect, especially with those couches. You don't want to be sitting in your new house on the floor. So if you're building a new house and it's 9 to 12 months out, doesn't hurt to go start shopping for your couch now and get an idea from that supplier. Am I going to have to wait 2 months? Am I going to have to wait 4 months? Am I going to have to wait 6 months? So sort all of that stuff out early, because delivery times, like we all know, with supply chain issues, have really gotten longer over the years. And then finally, Happy New Year. This will release on the 31st, which is a Sunday, which is when we release all of our videos once a week, every week. 2023 was an awesome year for me. It was the best year of my life. I expect 2024 to be even better. It was awesome for a real estate team. Even though real estate sales industry-wide were down, they were up for us. We had an amazing year. And a lot of that was due to you. So thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing to our channel. Thanks for all the people that worked with us over 2023. The majority of our sales actually come from you, the YouTube viewer. So we greatly appreciate you. If you're somebody that's new to this channel, if you're thinking about moving to Oregon, this channel is going to give you all the information that you need. Again, my name is Seth Marchant, licensed broker in the state of Oregon. Make sure and subscribe. And if this helped you, give us a thumbs up, hit that like button, lets us know we're doing a good job. Feel free to leave us a comment. We'll reply back. And until next time, Happy New Year and take care, everyone.